Yay! The stream is live. Welcome, everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Let me just introduce myself. My name's Dattu, and I am proud. And I say proud, like this morning, especially at this thing, I was like, fuck, I'm a fucking proud certified facilitator with access consciousness. Maybe that's another post and another Facebook Live for another time. And I am so
Oh,
lucky to have you, Simone, join me this morning for this beautiful conversation titled A Choice for Australia. Welcome.
thank you. Thank you, Datu. I know I love the background here as well because I actually just recently went to the desert. Like I went to see Uluru, and this is part of the color of it, besides the fact that it's incredibly green as well, because yes, it was raining in the desert, but Australia has so much to offer.
Absolutely. And I also was like, we're getting ready for the certified facilitators training in Australia coming up in the month of February 2024. And I was like reminiscing like 6, 7 years ago was my first ever CF training with access consciousness in Australia. And it truly freaking changed my world and just the beauty of the place and what what the country is. Like I literally fell in love and I kept telling everybody if there's one place in this world that I would move to if it was India, like other than India would be Australia.
Yeah.
You travel the world and you also have a home there. Like what's it been for you to like choose to have Australia as your home and like live
Uh,
there?
I mean, I grew up in Australia, and I love Australia, and I really like the land here. I think the earth here is got I mean, it's got a rhythm and a heartbeat like no other, but the same as India,
Mm.
the same as every other country.
Yeah.
I do believe that we choose where we're born. So wherever you choose to be born, I would ask the question of what you choose it for. For me, I do get that it's the earth is a really big calling. It's just the land here is incredible. And I used to very much call Australia home, like be very righteous about it too, actually, to be honest with you, Datu. And then over the past few years, I've realized that I really like Australia. I enjoy it, but I enjoy a hell of a lot of other places as well. And I have definitely moved more into and stepped into that. I know it sounds so cliche, but the world is my home because there's so many places I go to which I'm like, and I have that sense of peace. And I think that's what so much of this is about. Like I was just getting my bars run and watching a show on Netflix. I think it's called The American Symphony, about John Baptiste. He's a musician, won a whole bunch of Grammys, he's amazing. And it's sort of a movie slash documentary about him. And the thing that he keeps saying throughout it is how he was rejected for certain things, or people told him that he might be insane or he might be crazy or what he wanted to create, all of that and more. And at the end, he's like, he gives his speech and he's saying, be you. And we were laughing. Shannon Ray was running my bars because I was like, maybe we should tell Dane about this, like, be you. And actually, that's what this is. This is like, if you choose to come to Australia, great. We welcome you with open arms. We have this whole, a lot of classes happening. We have Choice for Possibilities with Dane in Brisbane, Australia. So it's all in Queensland. And then we have Relationships Done Different with myself and Dane in Noosa. And there's a link below that you can check out all of these classes, accessconsciousness.com/down under. And then we have certified facilitators with myself, Gary, and Dane. But that's not all. Then we have Relationships Done Different certified facilitators as well. And it's summer in Australia. It's amazing. It's great. We would love to have you here. And that's your choice. It's like, here's what I was just looking at as I was like hurriedly, I've got good bars here. I can just mess it up. And everyone goes, yeah, your hair looks fantastic. And I'm like, yeah. And I was looking at this going, if everyone really just chose what worked for them and stopped looking at the reasons and justifications for why they choose something or don't choose something, and you just went, you know what, I'm having this, I'm choosing this, and you committed to your own life and you kept leading yourself and taking action into something greater, where would you be in 5 years' time? Where would you be in 1 year? Where would you be in 10 years' time? What would the world be like? So for me, I'm like, what invitation can I be, and can Dattu and myself be, for any of you out there, to know that you can choose what works for you? Like, don't trust me, don't trust Dattu, don't trust Access, trust you. What works for you? You know. And it's interesting, there was this theme in this show that I just watched with John Baptiste, and amazing musician, phenomenal. And he talks about how anxious he is, and the paranoia that he has, and the depression that he has. And I'm like, oh man, you are just so aware. Like, and I'm not saying Access is the only thing, because it's not. There's a whole lot of things out there, and essentially you don't need anything. It's like, you're an infinite being. You can wake up and go, I'm going to be happy and I'm going to choose greatness today, and you can choose that. But I think what trips us up a lot is we're so aware. Like, this guy is so aware. He's so psychic, and he's buying into all the crap and all the shit that's not his, and creating that as his reality. Whereas in truth, we are this acoustical wavelength of possibilities. We're like nature. And we keep buying into that, where there's solidity, where there's rigidity. We have to have reasons and justifications for our choice, rather than just go, I'm in, let's go, you know? So what if it was more like that?
And
I want to ask you a question.
Yes, please.
Because you said that you came to Australia for your certified facilitator class. What made you choose it?
Yeah, and I have a little bit of a backstory. It may be emotional, and probably wouldn't prepare for this, but recently I lost a friend, a sweet friend of mine from school. He died by suicide, and it brought up a lot of shit for me, like the last 2 days especially. And I was having one of those moments of sheer vulnerability and acknowledgement of the freaking gift that Access has been to me personally, and where I started 7, 8 years ago. Like, having a world that was so limited in terms of so atrophied and almost dead, with the amount of choice and what I knew was possible, to what it's like with every choice, with every class, with every facilitator, everyone who's contributed, and of course my choices to like it was an acknowledgement to realize that fuck, I have we have such big worlds today. And
Yeah.
for me, I was on the Maestro chat, and yesterday, I sent that message. I was like, I'm really making this demand for more people in this world to just freaking know that, hey, their choice can be a reality. It needn't be. And I'm just there. And for me, it started in Australia. And I know that even Access as a company, when probably Australia was one of the first few countries that, I'm not making it about Australia, but for me, it's a special place because 7, 8 years ago, the world, where I came from and what it's created and contributed to me, there's just sheer gratitude. And yeah, that's been.
So what did you choose it for? What did you choose to become an Access Consciousness facilitator for?
Very honestly, I had no plans to be a facilitator. I had this job, just strategy, marketing. I was happy doing what I was doing. I mean, kind of ish. But then, there was this one facilitator who said that, when you being a facilitator is more you stepping into being a facilitator for your life, where you, it's basically accountability, but not those words exactly, but you stepping into being your own facilitator. And I freaking love that idea. I was like, that sounds so great. That's something which, I'd like to see what that's like. And then, yeah. And it was literally a choice. I did not have the money. Australia is really far away from India. It's one of those places that I really never dreamt of going to ever.
You can't complain about that. You can't complain about that. India is one of the closest countries to us. Come on. You can get a direct flight.
It was in my world, Australia was oh my God, so far. Europe, yes, still, I know, geographically, maybe distance wise, it's the same, but in my head, it was it was beyond. And like I always wanted to see kangaroos and koalas too, like because that was the only thing I knew about Australia, really.
Yeah.
And someone told me that there's this certified facilitators training, and I freaking like just chose it. And it was like sometimes when people ask me like, how the hell did I do those whatever those classes, prereqs or whatever that was, it I cannot cognitize it. I cannot logically tell you like what were those 15 different steps or like how did I like the how of it. I mean, I'm sure a lot of people can relate to this and a lot of people have had this as an experience. It was literally a choice away.
Well, I don't think Australia is that far away for you guys. So it's funny because people complain about these long flights. And I'm like, are you kidding? That's only a 9-hour flight. For Australians, nearly everything is far away, except for New Zealand, maybe, or Indonesia. So, but it is actually a direct flight. So we speak English, of course. So Ratan Deep was just here. I just did an advanced body class, and Ratan Deep and Kiran were here, and it was so beautiful to see them. Yeah. And if you are like Dattu and you desire to see kangaroos and koalas, that's actually a possibility. We have Australia Zoo that is right in between. Like Dane's got his class in Brisbane. The rest of the classes are in Noosa. The drive from Brisbane to Noosa, there's Australia Zoo. So it's very, very close. You can go to that as well. And you know what? I mean, you don't see kangaroos hopping around here, but if you go to the national park and you look up, you might see a koala, and there are kangaroos around, but they just don't go where all the people go.
Absolutely. I just want to also quickly, I know, special mention the class that you're doing with Dane. I think it's the first ever, the relationships done different intensive. It's something that is something that's extra exciting for me personally this time. It's something that we've never really done before. Is there something you'd like to speak about that class, and what is that about, and what are we looking at creating with that?
Well, it's a relationships done different class. Gary and Dane were, the OGs, the original gangsters of that, and sex and relationship classes. So I have been facilitating relationship done different classes for a while. There are, we call them RDD facilitators. There are RDD facilitators around the world. And we have the training coming up. And Dane and I looked at, we were talking about co-facilitating something. And we ran through a few different scenarios of different classes that we could do. And we were like, Gary, what do you get? And he went, relationships. And we were like, okay, that feels good. Let's do that. So here we are. And I love the fact that Dane has, a perspective. I have a perspective. We've both chosen a hell of a lot. I love it when, Justine, my PR agent, explains me as a relationship expert. And I do these media interviews and they say, oh, and this relationship expert. And I'm like, I cringe. I'm like, what do you mean relationship expert? And I'm like, I guess we all are. Like, you know what? I've chosen some really shitty things, but I've gained a lot of awareness. It's like, and I've chosen some great things and I've gained a lot of awareness, and I have observed people and gained a lot of awareness. So the relationships done different too is not just about your lover, your boyfriend, your girlfriend, your partner, your husband, your wife. It's everything. For me, relationships done different is about all the people in your life, from your friends, your colleagues, your family, your body. Like, what's your relationship like with your body? Even the relationship that you have with the earth. Like, what if relationships done different was this energy of where, as I said before, you get to choose to be you. So you be you with money, you be you with your body, you be you with everyone. And with that, to me, Dattu, is very much, as I mentioned before, it's like committing to yourself and being the leader in your own life. Because if you're the leader in your own life, you don't have a point of view of what anybody else thinks. And you'll keep choosing. You'll keep choosing and keep choosing, no matter what other people project at you, no matter what their judgments are, no matter what the expectation is of what you think you're supposed to do. What if, like, you are here on this planet to have way too much fun, and here on this planet to generate more consciousness, to be more aware, to function as you? I'm like, hands up, let's go. Let's go.
Amazing. And these classes are also available online. And that's one of the things that, I really like to, like, for everyone to know that the fact that all of these amazing classes, like, of course, come to Australia, that is a choice. It's a beautiful place. And this is available to literally everyone around the world. Like, we have an amazing stream team who put in so much work to get this out. And yeah, online as well. So CFP with Dane, we have an RDD intensive the next week. And then we have the certified facilitators training and the RDD certified facilitators training. Yay! Exciting.
And just to mention, because you and I both just said a CFP, some people are like, well, what the hell is a CFP? A CFP is choice for possibilities. For some reason, we shorten everything in Access. So we have acronyms for everything. So CFP is choice for possibilities. And that class, you must have done a bars class and foundation class. So there is still plenty of time. If you've only just done a bars class and you would like to come along to the choice for possibilities, you must attend a foundation class. And we have literally thousands of facilitators around the world that facilitate bars, and hundreds of facilitators who do the foundation classes. So if that's something you're interested in, check it out. And look, for me, when I first came along, bars wasn't a separate class. It was actually in the foundation class. And I just knew I wanted more. Like I actually heard Gary Douglas talk. He did this seminar. It was like a 2-hour seminar in Sydney, and it was on relationships. And I had no desire to hear anything about relationships, but I wanted to hear him, because I'd met this guy and was like, there is something so different about him and so different about Access. I was like, I want to know more about that. So that's the only seminar he was doing. So I went along, and I remember sitting there thinking, God damn it, this is awesome. Like, he was irreverent. He swore. He wasn't sort of talking about anything I didn't already know, but nobody was talking about it. And I walked out, and it was the first time in my life that I had this sense of freedom in my world, that I was okay for what I was choosing and what I was not choosing. And I think that's a really big element of Access as well, because what you choose is what you choose. Choose it for you. Okay, if there's no right or wrong, what are you choosing? And for me at that stage of my life, I was so not interested in relationships. And everyone around me was like, oh, you should get a boyfriend, you should do this. And I was like, why? I was more interested in business than I was in a boyfriend, right? But that apparently wasn't considered normal. So, and it was the first time listening to Gary that I went, I don't feel wrong for my choices. And that's what I would like everyone to get to, is not to feel wrong with their choices. And then when I came along to the foundation class, flicking through the manual, I was like, are you kidding me? This is covering like every area of life that I want to cover, and also the ones that I want to run away from. You know, I want to run outside the room and go, seriously, are we talking about this? But it changed my life. And I remember the foundation class too. There was so much change occurring, and I got a little feisty and cranky, and I stormed out of my class, and I told my facilitator that I had better things to do with my life than this, you know. And I got home that night, and I remember sitting there, poured myself a glass of wine, and I went, what am I doing here? I've been asking for change. I have been looking around this world and this planet going, this doesn't make any sense. Everything that everybody's choosing, it's like, why are people choosing this? You know, it's like, it doesn't make sense. There's got to be something greater. You know, I just knew there had to be something greater. And I was asking for change. I was asking for my entire life to change. And here comes along Access, and it's there. And I ran. And then the next day, I remember I came into class, and the guy looked at me and he said, oh, you're back. And I was like, yeah, I paid for it, so I'm here. And I used that. I'll never forget that. I used paying for the class as my justification to make sure I kept going. But Dattu, I think it's so interesting that we ask for change, and when change shows up, we try and slow it down, or we try and go, oh, hang on, sorry, not ready for you today. Can you come back tomorrow? Just a little light tap, or can I take 5% of this change, because that change I can control, and I'm not going to seem too different. I'm not going to seem too odd, you know. And we try and control the amount of change that shows up, rather than just embrace the change and embrace your choices. So choice for possibilities, that class after foundation for me, is you're delving into something even greater. It's sort of like, wow, you've done that foundation work, and now you get choice for possibilities, and your whole world can just expand out even further. And what I'm noticing, that when you expand out even further and choose from that, you have true happiness is more valuable. Like, true gratitude is more valuable. Judgment, unfortunately, doesn't cease. That's your choice. but it's a lot less. Not creating your life based on judgment. It's like creating your life based on question and choosing what actually works for you and having a look at that, like what does actually work for you. So there is like so many classes in Access Consciousness. There are so many books in Access Consciousness. And you can go ahead to all the classes, come to Australia. We'd love to see you, love to give you a big hug, love the bodies in classes. Also very grateful for online. I really am. And you can come to classes, do all of that, or go online and grab a book, or just listen to this call again. Because energetically, you know what I'm saying is true for you. What if you started acknowledging what's true for you and started choosing that? Like, let's go.
Oh God, yes, I could just probably listen to you for the next 50 hours and not, I mean, just fall in love some more with like the
Well,
ease
you're
and like
coming
what
to
you
Choice
really
for Possibilities
introduced.
in Egypt. So that's good. Oh, that's another option.
Yay! Yes.
You can in January. That's the first class I'm doing in January, and I know we've got a choice for Australia, but it's a choice for the world. And I'm doing in Cairo in Egypt, which I'm super excited about. I've never been to Egypt.
So excited.
Yeah, I think it starts on the 10th of January. So, and if you're from India, you probably think that Cairo is a lot closer than Australia, but in truth, it's just flights.
It is. It is on the 11th, 12th, and 13th of January, and it's the first CFP of the year, and it is something that I am like so excited and looking forward to. And before I forget, if you're Indian and you're watching this, so one of the smart things I did, I chose the class, and the first thing I did was I actually applied for my Australian visa, because apparently they like to take their own time to kind of get you their visa. One of those pragmatic, logistical things, which, I mean, when I got my visa, I still did not know if I was really going for the class. You know what I mean? Like, I got my visa, and that just made it so much more easier for me to get there. So get your visas, and someone Indian, and it's only for Indians. If you need someone who can, kind of get you that visa with a lot of ease, you can get in touch with me and I can hook you up who will help you with your visa.
I don't know if you're cutting out just for me, but I'm just going to repeat what you said again, just in case. But Dattu said get in touch with him and he can direct you in the place to get your visas. And I'm seriously, if you want to come, get your visa, because also it's Christmas and it's summer in Australia, and that is a crazy time of year. So yeah, get your visa. I think we're starting to lose connection for some reason. So maybe you need to get on a plane. Come see me, Dattu. I think we're losing Dattu. Liliana is on the back end. Liliana, have we lost Dattu and you've still got me? Is that what's happening? Give me a thumbs up. I think so. I can't see her. Yeah, she's giving me a little nod. Okay, cool. So anyway, thank you so much, guys, for being here. Look, if you have any questions, you can reach out to the host for the classes in Australia and or Egypt, whatever it is. It's like reach out to Dattu. But here's just the really piece I want to leave you guys with is you have infinite choice. What are you choosing? Okay. And it's like, be you, choose for you. What is it that you would like to choose? So thank you so much for being here. And thank you, Dattu. Now it's just on top of my head. It just says a choice. See what that looks like now, because we've only got one person on here. Maybe I'm just your choice. I'm a choice. I'm a choice. That's all it. I'm a choice. There's plenty of choices, okay? So thank you so much for being here, and I look forward to seeing you somewhere in the world. Bye-bye.